Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you may save you 50 years of regret. I'm 73 years old, and I'm about to reveal something that will make you uncomfortable, maybe even angry. Everything society taught you about life, success, and growing older, it's wrong. Completely wrong. Your parents didn't tell you. Your teachers didn't know. And the world around you keeps you distracted so you never find out. For the first 50 years of my life, I believed the same lies you probably believe right now. I thought if I worked hard, built a career, bought a nice house, and earned respect, I would feel fulfilled. Until the day my heart tried to kill me. I was 52, sitting in a meeting, reviewing quarterly projections. You know, the important stuff. Suddenly, the room spun, my vision blurred, and I collapsed. I woke up in a hospital bed with tubes everywhere, and my wife crying in the corner. Doctors called it a asterisk cardiac event, a fancy word for, you almost died. But what terrified me wasn't the heart attack. It was the realization that I had lived 52 years on autopilot, doing what I was supposed to do, not what truly mattered. And if I had died that day, all I would have left behind was a house, a bank account, and a list of achievements nobody would remember. That's when everything changed. Let me tell you the biggest lie you're probably telling yourself right now. The lie that destroys dreams, relationships, and entire lives before people even notice it happening. The lie is simple. I have time. We all whisper it to ourselves. We say it without thinking. We build our entire lives around it. When I make more money, then I'll be happy. When I get that promotion, then I'll finally relax. When the kids are older, then I'll travel. When I retire, then I'll start living. And every time we repeat these words, they feel comforting, reassuring, like we're promising ourselves a better future. But here's the truth that will hit you hardest the older you get. That day never comes. Not the way you imagine it. Not the way you hope for it. Because the moment you achieve one goal, a new one appears. The moment you reach one milestone, another demands your attention. The moment you think you're finally close to peace, you find yourself running again. You never stop. You never slow down. You keep moving the finish line forward, believing someday you'll finally arrive. I spent 30 years doing exactly that, climbing a corporate ladder that seemed to stretch endlessly into the sky, working late, sacrificing weekends, canceling family trips, postponing joy again and again because I convinced myself it was temporary, that I was doing it for the future. And when I finally reached the top, I looked around and realized the ladder had been leaning against the wrong wall. I had climbed the wrong mountain. I had chased the wrong dream. I had run so hard I didn't even know what I was running toward anymore. No one tells you this when you're young. Success is a terrible life goal. Yes, it sounds impressive. It sounds noble. It sounds motivating. But here's what no one tells you. Success is a hunger that never ends. No matter how much you feed it, it comes back wanting more. I had the things society measures success with. Money, status, respect. People thought I was accomplished. People thought I had everything figured out. People thought I was the lucky one. But deep inside, I was empty. Every achievement gave me a high that lasted maybe 48 hours. Then I was right back to feeling hollow, like something was still missing. And I wasn't the only one. A friend of mine, one of the hardest working people I've ever known, died at 68. He built a multi-million-dollar company. He worked 70-hour weeks. His phone never stopped buzzing. He kept saying he'd slow down next year. He kept saying he'd finally enjoy life after he hit one more target. Next year never came for him. At his funeral, his son stood up and said a sentence that shook me to my core. My father was very successful, but I barely knew him. That line echoes in my head to this day, because that's what so many people become. Strangers to the people they love the most. Not because they're unkind. Not because they're selfish, not because they don't care, but because they keep waiting for later. Later to reconnect, later to apologize, later to take a trip, later to laugh, later to rest, later to love. But there won't always be a later. Time is not a promise, it's a privilege, and it can disappear far quicker than you imagine. We waste years believing life is something that starts after our goals are achieved. We think our real happiness lives somewhere in the future. We think peace comes after the struggle. We think joy comes after the sacrifice. But the truth? Life is happening right now. And every moment you postpone living is a moment you will never get back again. Success didn't save me. Money didn't fulfill me. Status didn't comfort me. What saved me was realizing, far too late in life, that time is the most fragile, precious thing we have. And it never stops slipping away. So before you say, "I'll do it later," before you tell yourself you have time, ask yourself one question. What if you don't? People often believe regrets come from the mistakes they made. The wrong decisions, the bad choices, the failures they wish they could undo. But that's not true. Regrets don't come from the things you did. They come from the things you never did. The older you get, the more you realize this. I don't lie awake at night thinking about failed business deals. I don't replay embarrassing moments or financial losses. Those things fade. They lose their power. What stays? What follows you into the quiet hours of the night? Are the moments you didn't create, the people you didn't show up for, the experiences you kept postponing because you thought you had time. Sometimes I stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m., and the same thoughts hit me like waves. The trip to Japan I always dreamed of but never took. I kept telling myself, next year, when work slows down. But work never slowed down. Life never paused long enough for me to breathe. The relationship with my brother, slowly fading, quietly drifting away. We lived in different cities and told ourselves we were both busy. We stopped calling as often. We let months turn into years. And by the time I wanted to fix it, the distance wasn't just physical, it was emotional. Then there's the book I always wanted to write, a project that lived in the back of my mind for decades. I had ideas, outlines, stories, but I kept telling myself I'd start when things settled. Here's a truth most people learn too late. Life never settles. You have to start anyway. But I didn't. And now that book lives only in my imagination. A ghost of a dream I never gave a chance. And then there were the Sunday dinners with my parents. They invited me every week. Every single week. And almost every week, I found an excuse. I'm exhausted. I have workload. Rain is heavy today. Let's go next Sunday. There's still plenty of time. Except there wasn't. You don't hear a countdown. There's no warning bell. No message saying, enjoy this moment. It's the last time you'll get it. Life doesn't announce endings. It just ends. My father died when I was 45. We had a complicated relationship. Misunderstandings, hurt feelings, unresolved conversations. But in my heart, I always believed we had time to fix it. I kept thinking, when I'm less busy, when he's feeling better, when life calms down, when we're both ready. But one morning, he had a heart attack. Gone within hours. No goodbye. No final conversation. No closure. Just gone. And suddenly, all the things I planned to say one day, I had no more days to say them. My biggest regret isn't the arguments we had. Not the harsh words. Not the misunderstandings. My biggest regret is all the Sundays I didn't call him. All the dinners I skipped. All the visits I postponed. I'm too tired was the excuse. I'm too busy was the lie. I'll go next week was the illusion. Those small choices, those tiny acts of postponing, turned into a lifetime of regret. Because time runs out quietly. It doesn't shout. It doesn't knock. It doesn't pause and wait for you to be ready. It slips away silently, day by day, choice by choice. And the most painful truth is this. You think the people love will be here forever. They won't. You think there will always be another Sunday, another phone call, another holiday, another chance. But you only realize how limited time is when it's too late to use it. One day, you will look back and wish you had done more. Not more work, not more tasks, not more accomplishments, more moments, more connection, more love, more presence. Because in the end, the things we regret most are not the things we messed up. It's the things we never allowed ourselves to experience. The conversations we never had. The trips we never took. The people we didn't hold close. The apologies we never made. The dreams we buried under responsibilities. The laughter we postponed. The time we wasted believing we had more. One day, you will realize you should have shown up. You should have said yes. You should have made the call. You should have visited. You should have loved harder. But by then, all you'll be left with is the echo of what could have been. Before it's too late, Do the things your future self will thank you for. Because the clock never stops. And regret. Regret always arrives on time. After my heart attack, everything changed. I stepped back from work. Started saying no to obligations that drained me. Started saying yes to experiences I had postponed for decades. And in 21 years, I learned more than I did in the first 52. Here's what truly matters. And it's embarrassingly simple. Time with the people you love. Work that feels meaningful to you. Experiences, not possessions. Memories, not achievements. Presence, not productivity. When I was younger, I used to roll my eyes at this stuff. Sure, but I have bills. Yes, we all do. But bills aren't meant to cost you your life. Ask yourself honestly, if you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied with how you've lived? Not would people be impressed. Not did I achieve enough. Just, are you satisfied? If the answer is no, then why are you still living like you have forever? You don't. None of us do. I look at my 3 grandchildren, and I see the same patterns. Stress, anxiety, chasing things that won't matter, repeating my mistakes. That's why I made this video. Because maybe someone, maybe you, will hear this before it's too late. Every single day, you're getting closer to death. Your parents, if they're still alive, they won't always be. Your friends, one day you'll lose them too. Your children, your partner, your siblings. No relationship is permanent. So what are you going to do? Keep delaying that phone call? Keep postponing that trip? Keep waiting for some perfect moment that will never arrive? Or will you start living today? If I could talk to my 30-year-old self, I'd say, stop trying to impress people who don't matter. Stop sacrificing your health for your career. Stop postponing joy. Stop waiting for permission to live. Start calling your parents. Start taking the trips. Start doing the things that scare you. Start saying no more often. Start saying yes to experiences that feed your soul. And most importantly, start now. Not next week. Not next year. Not when things calm down. Now, because if you wait, you will wake up at 73, wondering where your life went. I'm 73. Maybe I have 15 years left. Maybe 10. Maybe less. But I'm at peace. Because these last 21 years, the years I finally started living intentionally, have been the richest of my life. Not because of money, but because of meaning. I traveled. I deepened relationships. I forgave. I loved. I lived. And I want the same for you. Don't waste decades figuring this out. Learn from my mistakes. Start living before your time runs out. If this message touched you, share it. Comment below about what you're going to change. And subscribe, because I still have a few more truths to share.